Alright, what's going on everyone? I just thought I'd quickly go through a bit of my build at the moment. So what I'm currently running in OPR for bows, sometimes in wars, not too often, but you know, it's happened from time to time. Mainly this kind of class goes over as sort of a kiting, get in, get out kind of class. You know, you can get in there with your hatchet, you can shoot from a distance with the bow. It's a big skirmishing kind of build. So the way that this build works is that you're popping from a distance, you're getting your debuffs on the enemies, you're doing a bit more damage because you've got the debuffs on them from the bow, and then when you get caught, you've got the hatchet, you've got the berserk to run, you've got the social distancing to get away, you've got the setup on the axe itself to make you survive a bit longer. It's pretty good. So I'll go through my gear really quickly. I'm running 3 shirking fortifications, 5 resilient. So I've got Shirking Fort, refreshing on that one. I got a bit lucky. I've got 1 physical aversion for the muskets and an empowering breaker. It helps out with the hatchet. So when you're chopping in there with a hatchet against a tank and they're blocking your attacks, you've got a bit of an empower to build up there as well. So that's always good. A must have on your legs, Shirking Energy. I cannot stress this enough. Shirking Energy is probably the best thing, especially for the type of build that we're showcasing here today. So you've got the energy on a dodge. So you're dodging for shirking fortification, and you're dodging and you get energy back every 6 seconds. So that's always good. And then I've got the last one, the shirking fort as well. Running the champion's amulet. Stam recovery is always good when you're getting low and you're getting caught. You're dodging through some of their attacks and you get hit below half health. You get almost a full bar of stam back. Helps you get away a lot when you get that stam back and you're getting caught. So it's a must-have in my opinion. And then you've got the Shirking Empower as well. So Shirking Fort, Shirking Empower, Shirking Energy. You're dodging abilities all the time. You're getting energy back. You're getting that fortification to survive a bit longer as well. And then you're also getting stronger from the Empower. So all around big Shirking build. It's fantastic. The best thing I find for this build as well is the ring, the Mortal Empowerment. So the Mortal Empowerment, refreshing Hardy. Hardy's always a must-have on almost any build that you can make at the moment. The extra stam to have the extra 2 dodges, or the extra dodge in light, so you've got your 2 dodges and you're still not stam drained, so you're not walking around like a muppet. Mortal Empowerment though, the king of this build is the Mortal Empowerment. You're staying alive, you're dodging around, you're kiting everyone, you're skirmishing, and you're getting kills. You're getting a stacking damage buff. 15 stacks of 2% damage buff, that's 30% extra damage. When you get those stacks rolling, it's amazing. You can notice the difference once you're at full stacks. It is just insane. That paired with Battle Bread in OPR, that's an extra 15% damage. That's just 45% extra damage in general, just from getting max stacks and having your Battle Bread up. So this is where all of your damage mainly comes from with this build. It's fantastic. And then for my earring, I've got a really good piece here. So I've got Healthy Toast, so drinking a mana potion gives you health back. Refreshing Toast to get your cooldowns back faster and regen, so just a little bit of extra sustain while you're skirmishing around and fighting. And if anything, I'd probably swap out regen for Nimble to get stam back quicker, or you could swap it out for Purifying Toast, where if you drink a regen potion you lose a debuff. That would help a lot with muskets as well. Now, with my weapons, I'm running Abyssal Attunement Keenly Jagged. I've just been rolling the Corrupted Heartbow to try and get best in slot, from my opinion, best in slot bow. I'd probably go Abyssal Attunement, Keenly Jagged, and to add on to that either Vicious or Enchanted. I don't think you can get Attunement and Enchanted. I'm not too sure about what the limitations are, but Vicious would be the thing that I'm looking for the most. So Vicious, Attunement, Keenly Jagged is amazing. Attunement in general is better than Enchanted because it's basically double the damage every 1 second. So it also procs on abilities, so it's not just your light and heavies with Enchanted, it's also your pen shot, your explosive shot, your poison shot if you hit them, your evade shot, anything that you're hitting a target with an ability, you're also proccing that attunement damage. So that is an amazing perk on a weapon. And then you've also got Jagged. Now it does say 7% weapon damage per second for 6 seconds, but I know that that's wrong, and it's around 10%. So it's actually also getting ticking damage consistently if you're fighting. It's also putting that debuff on the target, which gives extra damage to the bow, which we'll touch on later when we go into the perks and setup of the bow. Now the Hatchet, I've got Keen Vicious, Keen Speed. Keen Speed is amazing on the Hatchet, especially with this type of build where you're using the Hatchet to get away. I'll show you the talents that we're using as well. You can get to haste cap in 2 abilities essentially, or 40% haste with 1 ability. So amazing tool to get away with. Sometimes I like to swap it out for the Berserker Hatchet, not too often, but you know, it is what it is. And then sometimes I'll swap out to the Las Bow, but at the moment I find that the Attunement and Jagged is just too powerful to drop at the moment. Side note, just rewatching the guide, I did miss one thing. So with the bow, we want an elemental gem. You can run Opal if you want, but with the current state of the game, a lot of people are running thrust resistance for bows, for spears, blunderbuss. You've got rapier damage, muskets, all of those things. People are actually running a lot of physical or mainly thrust resistance for that. So swapping it over to have a different type of elemental damage is generally more beneficial. I've seen in the split damage when I've shot an arrow at someone that the elemental damage is doing about 400, sometimes 500 more damage than what the thrust was. So if you're running Opal, you could be sacrificing a lot of damage. That extra 15% may not cover the 400 difference in damage that the split gem could do for you. The reason that we're running Opal in the Hatchet is that, well, not many people are running slash protection specifically. The only people that are doing that are mainly tanks, and they're not our priority target. So we're mainly looking for the squishies, the other bow players, the healers, you know, people who are seeing back muskets, all the light users. They're our main targets. Or even the melees like the spears, the hatchets, the sword and shields, the light users like that as well. So running Opal on the Hatchet is fine. On the bow, I would definitely recommend using a split elemental gem instead of the Opal. Now that we've gone over the gear pieces, I'll go over the weapon mastery. So the Hatchet, you've got your full into Berserk, so you get your damage bonus, your movement speed bonus, you get health back. Removes stuns, slows and roots, which is amazing for escaping, obviously. And while Berserk is active, you become uninterruptible and can't be staggered. Also, all of these things helping you to try and get away. Now, another big part of it, I'm using Torrent. So Raging Torrent. It's there for damage if you're chasing someone down with the Hatchet, great. But the second perk is the best part, where you get 20% movement speed for 6 seconds after hitting someone. Amazing tool paired with Keen Speed. So if you use Raging Torrent, you get a crit. You've got 20% plus the 20% from Keen Speed. You're at 40% haste for 6 seconds, and then once the torrent drops off, you're at you're at 20% for the remaining of Keen Speed, which is another 4 seconds, which is amazing. If you're also proccing your Berserk as well, that's an extra 20. But the haste cap does cap out at 50%, so you won't be at 60% extra haste. You'll be stopped at 150. But I'll show you in a moment. Having that cap is just amazing about how fast you can run around. It's great. Now with these ones, we've got the successful light attacks. You get in power for the next attack. It's always good if you're training someone down with the hatchet. 20% when they're low, bit of an execute. More damage when there's more people around, fantastic. 3 consecutive light attacks give you Fortify for 3 seconds. Amazing for survival. Now we'll jump over to the throwing tree. We've got increased crit chance, always nice to have. Crits give you stam, which is always good to have when you're kiting around or chasing someone, following up with the dodges. You know, getting constant stam regen is fantastic for chasing down people. We're going all of social distancing, so you've got a small invulnerability frame, sort of like evade. You know, you throw it, you dodge back a bit, and you get to create some distance between your enemies when you're running. Or you can use it to get a stagger on them. So if you're chasing someone down, you throw the hatchet, you stagger, you roll forward again straight away. If you get a crit, you've got that keen speed and you can keep up with them as well. It's fantastic. Then we've got, if they've got a debuff, you get haste. So we're hitting them with the bow, they're bleeding. The explosive shot burns them, poison gives them a debuff, all of these things. So if you're hitting them with that, you're also getting extra haste as well. And then the last one, if you're hitting them over 6 meters, there's a 1 second root. Definitely helps for chasing people down or even running away if you're getting chased by a few people and you hit a target that's far enough away. Then we've got exploitation, so all attacks do more damage to a target with a debuff. So, you know, we're debuffing them a lot all the time. With the bow, getting all those debuffs out, you're doing more damage with the hatchet if you're chasing them as well. And Adrenaline Rush, the final one. So if we're dodging within 2 seconds of hitting an ability, it costs less stam to dodge. Amazing if you're torrenting and running, social distancing and running. You know, if you're hitting people with those abilities, it costs less stam to run away. More skirmishing potential, more kiting potential, all around amazing. Oh yeah, finally, you've got the Defy Death. When you get hit below 50 health, you become invulnerable for 3 seconds. Another thing to help you live and run away. Fantastic tool for the hatchet. We'll head over to the bow. This is my current setup at the moment that I've been playing around with for a little bit. Sometimes I'll swap out the explosive arrow for the poison. Only the first 2 points of poison though, because 100% weapon damage on the direct hit is not that great. I don't really find it to be that good anymore after the nerf. So we're just hitting them with the poison cloud. Usually I'll just shoot it on the ground and have the poison do a bit more damage. So this one, you know, dodging gives you a damage bonus. Always good to have on the bow. You've got the evade shot where you're leaping back and dealing damage and staggering them. Another good tool for escaping and kiting, even chasing people down. It's great. Now we're grabbing the 2 haste things here as well. So after dodging with the bow out, you get 10% haste for 2 seconds. And when you swap to the bow, you get 10% haste for 5 seconds. So that's 20% haste if you swap to the bow and dodge once. Another good tool for running away or kiting around. Fantastic. Now this is the debuffing thing as well that we have for the bow. Mark, you put a debuff on them and you do 10% more damage in general. So your poison, your explosive, the bleed from rain of arrows, whatever. Or even the bleed from keenly jagged counts as a debuff that you've put on them. More damage for the bow. Fantastic. Now for the hunter side, we've got heavy attacks fly faster and do more damage. Fantastic. 15% more damage if they're further away from you than more than 10 meters. A little bit of an execute. 20% more damage if they're under half health. 20% more damage if you haven't damaged them in 10 seconds. It's good for opening engagements. Arrow range I find is really good, increasing the distance the arrow travels before being affected by gravity. I've gotten used to that, so I find that it's really hard to drop this point on the bow because, you know, once you get used to how the arrows fly, you take it off and it's just learning the whole shooting trajectory again, and I'm too comfortable. And then we've got increases crit chance of bow by 10%, which is, you know, nice little bonus to have. Headshots deal 20% more damage and have a 50% chance of getting the arrow back. The headshots are nice. In OPR you get free arrows from what you've got equipped anyway, so it doesn't matter. Explosive shot. 50% weapon damage for the hit itself. Not too great, but you know, it is what it is. What we're looking for is the explosive damage. So 135% for the base damage with the 2.5 meter radius is okay. If you do direct hit them, you get the burn of 8% weapon damage for 10 seconds, and then the final one just ups the explosive damage to 170%, but reduces the explosive radius to 1.3 meters. So sometimes I'll take this last point off and maybe go to heavy attacks with 100% health enemies will do more damage, or maybe I'll swap it out for debuffs lasting longer on the other side, just so I can keep that explosive radius bigger, and instead of direct hitting I can just shoot the explosive arrow on the ground to get the damage off instead. Alright, so with all of that done, the stat distribution that I like to run is a bit like this. So I will go all the way up to 300 dex with food on, 150 con and 65 strengths to get the bit of extra damage on the hatchet. The strength one, the 50 point, gives you damage to light and heavy attacks. Always fantastic to have. You get the extra crit from the dexterity tree, more thrust damage. Dodging costs less, fantastic. Bonus backstab and headshot, always good. Random crit hit damage against stunned, slowed and rooted enemies, amazing. We're doing a lot of the debuffing and stuff like that, so that's always good. And then the guaranteed crit after dodging, amazing. We love going up to 150 con so we can get the reduction to crit hit damage, the extra 10%, paired with the 5 resilience. Crits basically do not much, well, next to no extra damage for most of the weapons. There are some that have crit multipliers and stuff like that, or people who run vicious, but 5 resilience or even 4 resilience if you're running 150 con, that's the perfect sweet spot. So with that, we'll show you the keen speed on the Hatchet. It is amazing. So if we're berserking and we keen speed, we're at 50% haste and we are zooming. This is your escape tool. Anytime you get in trouble, you berserk out of your stuns, roots or slows. You can even straight after berserking do your social distancing to get away, roll back, look how far you're gone. If you crit with that, amazing. But even just then you can torrent and get your crits and run, and you're at 40% extra haste and you're getting out of there. So it's always good to have all of that around. The general play style with this is, you're doing your heavy attacks, you're doing your lights if you're up close and personal, you're just getting your debuffs and you're doing all the damage that you can, staying away from everyone. And if you get close or you're chasing them down, maybe you want to run in with the Hatchet, you've got that keen speed and haste as well to run in there. And then you've got your berserk to do extra damage if you need it. And you've got your haste from everything there. And if they're running away, they're getting too far, they're running around corners or just trying to escape, you've got the bow to pull out and finish them off. So you've got all of this survivability from the Hatchet and the bow, especially getting in there and getting in close range with the Hatchet. It's always fun to do so because you've always got those escapes to get out if things get a bit hairy. And if they happen to be getting away from you, you're having a good time because you've got the bow to pen shot them down or explosive shot them while they're running away. And usually they just don't expect it because they're just focusing on you with the Hatchet up in their face. So it's always good to have a bit of a mix-up. Kind of a bit over playing around with the rapier at the moment, and it is getting a nerf with the evade and the riposte, with it not giving stam on its own without you dodging an ability, or getting the haste from it either, where you'll need to dodge an ability to get both of those bonuses. So, bringing out the Hatchet, none of those things need to be the case. You've just got all of the things there for you. Your escape, you've got the haste, and you can get out of stuns with berserk and heal yourself as well, and also not die if you happen to get bombed or something like that. You've always got that no die axe at the end there, the defy death, and you should be good to go. So go around in OPR and give it a bit of a whirl and see how you like it. Leave me a comment if you end up giving it a try, and if there's any changes that you might do to it or how you find it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I'm having heaps of fun with this at the moment. But yeah, cheers for watching. I hope you enjoy your day and have a great day, night, morning, wherever you're from. And I'll see you in the next video. See you later.